Hey everyone, my name is Larry Sproul, news reporter for Local 4 WDIV, and I am ecstatic to be back here as your MC 2 years in a row. I guess I did pretty good last year, but no, all jokes aside, I want to welcome you to Focus Hope's Eleanor March for Hope 2020, presented by WDIV and Magna. Now, we are so glad to be here. Of course, I want to be there in person. I want to give you hugs and kisses and all that, but due to the circumstances, we have to do it virtually this year. But it's not going to change. We still want to have fun as we celebrate, reflect, and move forward together to bring forth positive change right here in Southeast Michigan and beyond.
Welcome to the Catholic Church of St. Moses the Black. This was Father Cunningham's home for 30 years, and I'm very happy to welcome all of you. Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., in response to the hatred he experienced in his life, said this, that hatred can never be overcome with hatred. Love is the transforming power that can transform an enemy to a friend. And I know that the love of God inspired Father Cunningham to create Focus Hope. Father Cunningham was not a sentimental man. However, he was known to, at times, tear up at this altar when he celebrated Mass. This tells us that reminds us that Father Cunningham was inspired by the love of God to affect holy change in our communities. And so we pray that God may use us also to affect lasting and true change in our world. And so let us pray. Lord God, we thank you and praise you for gathering us together for this celebration and promotion of Focus Hope at the March for Hope. We pray that you may use us as you used Father Cunningham to affect lasting and fruitful change in our society. We pray that you may increase our faith in your presence in our lives. When we are discouraged, give us hope. When we experience fear, give us strength. When we are sad, increase our joy. And lastly, may you continue to help us to shine the light of Christ's love to our communities, world that is so affected by the divisions of sin, division, and hatred. Bless the mission and work of Focus Hope. May we collaborate with Focus Hope to truly bring change in our world in response to the social inequalities that we experience. We ask this all in the name of Christ our Lord. Amen.
Welcome to the 46th Annual Eleanor's March for Hope. I'm Portia Roberson, CEO of Focus Hope. For this year's march, we are advocating for 3 issues important to our community: equitable justice, equity in health, and equitable economics.
Everything that we do at Focus Hope is pulled together by our common advocacy and anti-racism lens. We aspire to be a preeminent anti-racism organization, both by advocating successfully toward needed systems change, but also internally by integrating every aspect of our business into a racial equity lens. We accomplish this through advocacy, but also through intelligent and practical action in the lives of individuals and families as we work alongside them to pursue their aspirations.
For over 52 years, Focus Hope has supported Southeast Michigan through intelligent and practical action to overcome racism, poverty, and injustice. Ever since the organization's beginning in 1968, through the work of Father William Cunningham and Eleanor, the core of Focus Hope's mission has been to work alongside our community to create meaningful change in people's lives by empowering them with support at every life stage, as everyone encounters different needs at different times, from birth through senior years. Today, through Eleanor's virtual March for Hope, we are celebrating, reflecting, and moving forward together through action to support real, positive change in Southeast Michigan and beyond.
Guys, so many wonderful community members have joined us virtually this year to participate in our march. They're marching for their own reasons as well, and we are going to introduce you to those people later on. But I first want to tell you why I am marching. Obviously, this year has been quite interesting for a lot of reasons. You have the coronavirus and you have racial equality that's been going on. I was able to cover the protests here in Detroit and across the country, and I got to tell you that it was very interesting. I've never covered anything like that before. But to see so many people coming forward, fighting for racial equality, something that we have been fighting for years, really speaks volumes.
Our president and CEO, Ray Scott, has offered profound words speaking out against racial injustice and pledged action with $1 million commitment to combat racism and discrimination to lead the change we want to see.
The nice thing about Lear is that we have a platform and we have a voice. And I believe that this time that we're in right now in opening up the discussions is critical. And the more you discuss change, the more you discuss the issues, the more you can actually drive action and drive real change longer term. Part of our values when we talk about being inclusive can't just be something that's on a wall. And it has to be part of your culture, it has to be part of the company, and you have to do it in a way that is meaningful.
As you know, there have been a number of activities and efforts underway to really help foster a culture that values diversity and inclusion. From our global Expect Respect campaign to the new and growing employee resource groups, we really have an opportunity to bring the new Lear values to life.
We have since established a strong cross-functional team working on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our vision, wherever you come from, whoever you are, your ideas and thoughts are welcomed and heard. Everyone in the company feels accepted, valued, and has the opportunity to grow.
Hey everybody, Matt Watroba here, speaking on behalf of Focus Hope, a bright shining light in the city of Detroit. In fact, I always think of this song when I think of Focus Hope. Hold on, keep your eyes on the prize, hold on. One of the things that makes that song so powerful, and I think one of the things that makes Focus Hope so powerful, is the fact that the prize is never defined. And in fact, the prize changes throughout the years. And the organizations that are the great organizations are the ones that can change along with the times. You know, we know what Eleanor and Bill discovered back in the late 1960s during the Detroit uprisings. And we know how the organization has changed to create jobs for young people who never could get jobs, to feed the hungry and to feed young mothers. Got to keep your eyes on that prize. The only thing that we did wrong was staying in the wilderness too long. Keep your eyes on the prize, hold on. Sing it. Hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize, hold on. The only thing that we did right was the day we began to fight. Keep your eyes on the prize, hold on. Hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize, hold on. And although we can't march together this October, we can certainly think back to all those years we marched together. We can use videos like this and other ways to just remind us that what makes us strong, what makes Focus Hope strong, is keeping our eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
Portia Roberson, CEO, Focus Hope, and I march for equal rights for all.
I'm Jason Larsosa, Director of Advocacy, Equity, and Community Empowerment at Focus Hope, and I march for equitable pay for Black women and girls and for the reparations of Black America.
Hello. For more than 45 years, Eleanor's March for Hope has brought together thousands of people to walk in unity and support social justice. This was a special event of our late founder, Eleanor Josias, and I am pleased to be the honorary chair for this year's virtual walk. Eleanor and Father Cunningham created this organization to promote racial and economic equality after the 1967 rebellion. And today, Focus Hope's mission is just as important today as it was then. The struggle to overcome racism, poverty, and the call for action remains. Thank you for your participation in the 2020 Eleanor March for Hope.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours.
Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, 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 glory.
Oh.
If you're black and you're proud, Hands up, if you wanna make a change, I'm my leader, stand up.
Look, I'm tired of seeing my people on the news, texting my friends, hoping they're okay too.
And yeah, we get that all lives matter, but I get to choose the color of my skin, so how does that matter? Your job is to serve and protect me, so where's the protection? Not only dying from racism and COVID infections.
Can't get snacks like Trayvon, get some sleep like Rihanna. The more they kill us off, we're losing our mothers and fathers.
Listen, when will enough be enough? I shouldn't be afraid that I'm next to go in handcuffs.
Look, it's time to team up and stop the cruelty.
My border's up and I see him walking towards me.
Walking, yelling no justice, no peace.
Kneeling, until my people reach equality.
And if we come together, we're unstoppable. If you're red, white, yellow, green, or blue, this isn't just our fight, nah, it's yours too. More than being enslaved like my ancestors. It's time that we expose the country's transgressions. We're the future, not the past. It's time to steal the present. Unity is what we're wishing for as a present. We doing Zoom calls, protests, rallies, and more. The bigger we are in numbers, yeah, we can even the score. The year is 2020. Let us make that clear. This the last generation they mess with fear. And when we get old, the stories will be on repeat. Fighting for our rights and mass and trying to keep 6 feet. With my hand in yours, we get our justice and peace. Fists up, it's time to come together on our own streets. One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Ooh, one day, when the war is won, we'll be strong, we'll be strong. Glory. Together so we can be one.
In 1968, something important happened. While the nation was divided over civil rights, courageous people stood up for what was right. Father Cunningham, Eleanor, and a small band of determined people started a movement. They pledged intelligent, practical action to fight racism, poverty, and injustice, and Focus Hope was born. Over the years, Focus Hope has become a trusted community anchor. Our work is built on the idea that opportunity can change everything. For over 50 years, Focus Hope has continued to fight racism, poverty, and injustice, and we are not about to stop now. With passion, persistence, and you as a partner, we will continue the legacy of our founders. Together, we will make their work live on.
Hi everyone, hi Focus Hope family. It's Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. I want to thank you all so much to all the volunteers, the staff, the teams that were put together to address the difficult challenges of our families and children during this pandemic. I know when we show up for our neighbors, we save lives, and that's exactly what you all did, and I can't thank you enough. I know that you are focused on pushing back against inequities across our neighborhoods and communities. I know that, again, it's been very difficult, but I hope we see some opportunity for hope, that we can create a new garment. And I want to share a poem that I feel very much creates that light that I'm looking for during this pandemic and during these challenging times, especially during this uprising for Black Lives Matter. Sonia Renee Taylor, an author and poet, said it best. She said, "We will not go back to normal. Normal never was. Our pre-corona existence was not normal, other than that we normalized greed, inequity, exhaustion, depletion, extraction, disconnection, confusion, rage, hoarding, hate, and lack. We should not long to return, my friends. We are been given the opportunity to stitch a new garment, one that fits all humanity and nature." So I hope you all help me in stitching a new garment. Thank you so much, Focus Hope.
Hi, I'm Senator Adam Ollier, and I want to welcome you to Focus Hope's 46th March for Hope. As someone who's incredibly familiar with the organization, much like you, I have deep roots with Focus Hope. As someone who graduated from their racial and equity high school program, Generation of Promise, like you, I've been involved with this organization that has been doing incredibly important work around making sure that people come together around racial justice issues, around socioeconomic issues, around feeding folks, getting people employed, job training. That's what Focus Hope has stood for. And as a member of the Senate, something that I've been really proud to help partner with them and work with them on. And so as you look out at today and you think, man, it's never been this bad and there's no way it can get any better, think about Focus Hope. Think about an organization that was founded right after the insurrection, founded in a moment where people were also down, where they didn't know if things were going to get better. And we came together and we started working on it. So when you think about what you're marching for, what got you out there, and you're thinking, man, I wish I could be with everybody, remember that I'm marching for systemic change. I hope you think about what you're marching for, and that we continue to work together, that we stay safe, that we wear face masks and do social distancing, so next year we can be back together.
My name is Tom Armstead, and I'm the former Director of Programs at Focus Hope, the job I held at my retirement after 32 years of service. I first became involved with Focus Hope in 1970 as a volunteer at the downtown riverfront festivals, whose purpose was to draw people from city and suburbs together along Detroit's riverfront for fun and entertainment in a carnival-type atmosphere. In 1971, I joined the Focus Hope staff and was part of the early planning of that first walk. The walk was the brainchild of Father Cunningham and Dario Benucci, then chairman of the Focus Hope Board of Directors. Their idea was to create an event to showcase the Focus Hope mission and also serve as a fundraiser for the organization. The walk was 8 miles long. Walkers proceeded from 4 different directions, north, south, east, and west, and the walk terminated at the state fairgrounds. My reason for participating in the Focus Hope Walk some 47 years ago and this year's walk has not changed. It's my commitment to the Focus Hope mission to eradicate racism, injustice, and poverty for this generation and generations to come.
Hi, my name is Athena, and this is my son, Austin. I march so that he can have more opportunities than I have.
I march so I can be whoever I want when I grow up.
I'm Stacy Barker, and I march for making our girls whole again and arresting the killers of Breonna Taylor.
I'm Anika Goss. I'm the Executive Director of Detroit Future City, and I march for equitable access to capital for all Detroiters.
My name is Ashley Blake. I'm the Midwest Regional Director for the Center for Employment Opportunities, and I march for a more equitable and just world.
My name is Asia, and even during the pandemic, hope isn't distant. Joining you from Atlanta, I march for Black Lives Matter and human rights advocacy.
So my march is leveling that playing field for everyone. Everyone needs these basic tools about real estate, about taking care of their home, having pride in ownership, and actually owning things in order to widen the gap between themselves and poverty. So my march is basically getting everybody on the same playing field so they don't inherit that deficit of knowledge in finance the same way I did.
I'm Tristan Taylor, founding organizer of Detroit Will Breathe, and I march for real justice in the city of Detroit and across the world.
Focus Hope was founded in 1968 as a response to Detroit's 1967 unrest, which was connected to racial disparities that were playing out here in Detroit, but also other places all over the country. Father Cunningham, a Catholic priest, along with a band of supporters, including one of his own parishioners, Eleanor, a self-characterized suburban housewife, banded together to overcome racism, poverty, and other forms of social injustice, and to build a metropolitan community where all people could live in freedom, harmony, trust, and affection. Today, our programs support the entire household, as well as the individual at each of the 4 major phases of life, from pre-birth all the way into mature adulthood. In the early learning space, which is the first space, we provide education to 244 young children, as well as supportive services to their entire families as they work toward their aspirations. The second chunk is in youth development, whereby we provide after-school enrichment, academic enrichment, out-of-school programs, sports, and social justice and anti-racism training to young people in the K-12 space. The third sector is adult workforce, whereby we double down on our efforts to support those working to achieve economic prosperity. We do this by making sure that they have the training and the opportunities that they need to do so. Astoundingly, the fastest population of the hungry are among the most accomplished of our population, our mature adults, our senior citizens. To combat this, to provide food justice, Focus Hope provides $40 of supplemental groceries to about 41,000 senior citizens every single month in 4 counties in and around Detroit.
I march for socially just, equitable, and inclusive workplaces. Social inequity and divisions are real and crippling, and the time to resolve them is now. This is a moment for all of us to lead.
In order to know the bones of a city, you have to know every brick of its story, the central pulse that connects a community. You have to look up toward its universal ceiling through the wondrous eyes of a child. Detroit is a city of innovators who showed the world how to put large dreams on wheels. Traveling up south people with faith in their stride, pride in the tilt of a hat, the ones who hurdled over hardship and had the heart to still lead. Sometimes you must move with great intention, with force, with tears, fiercely into the unknown in order to survive. Michigan Central Station is more than a stained glass memory of our mothers and fathers. It is the bustling new center of the future of global mobility, a destination spot for creatives, a meeting place for the most brilliant. What better place to revolutionize the core of Ford Motor Company than on top of our inspirational real-world streets of possibility? This can't be done alone. We need all of you to show up. Search for inspiration. It's under the hood, inside our chests. We are the bold ones, ready to build the world we are moving into, not the one we've always known. Unafraid to go back to our beginning in order to push triumphantly into the future. Imagine the body of our car as a body of a people, painted with thousands of extraordinary colors. Ideas fueling our machines that drop off the most important little people in the world to elementary schools at 8 a.m. every morning. We will never forget when our busy streets turned empty. Bird songs drowning out the morning commute, later to be filled up with the sound of resistance. Our resilient bones, an assembly line of interchangeable parts, a metropolis of ideas, our minds, the workstations of the future, right off Michigan Avenue. A place that remembers how we arrived will create the powerful roadmap to where we must go next. Welcome to the mobility capital of the world. Welcome home. We can't get there without you.
I'm Mary Campbell. I have been a member of Focus Hope since 1968, right after the riots. I knew Father Cunningham in 1957, and in 1967 I needed a purpose. So I went to Father Cunningham, and he said, "Follow me. I have a purpose, and we are going to change Detroit." So he was at Sacred Heart Seminary at the time, so he needed clerical help. So I helped, and then we moved into Church of the Madonna, of which I was a choir member for 45 years. I met my husband, Tony Campbell, there, and we were married at Madonna. And in 1975, I don't know if I got this then, but in 1975, when we first started walking and have been walking every year since, we knew that we had to pledge to continue the fight for equal justice in the city of Detroit and, as we can see, all across the country. So we are still in that fight. We are still walking with Eleanor and Bill, even in 2020, even virtually, but the cause is still the same and still as important. So we are going to walk again virtually this year, along with the other members that have been with us forever, and we will fight until freedom rings. Black lives really matter.
My name is Shayla McElroy, and I march for Breonna Taylor. Stephanie.
And I march for hope, peace, and unity.
Eric.
I march for those who can't march with us.
Tamika.
I march for better policing.
Amber.
I march for an end to mass incarceration.
I march for the end of racism.
Betty.
I march for justice and equality.
Catherine.
I march for the conscience of the oppressor to be positively changed.
Nicole.
I march for peace and love.
Yuda.
I march peace for all fellow men.
Sonia. I march for truth and righteousness in the name of Jesus Christ. Dianita.
I march for hope and peace for all.
Amanda.
I march for the dignity of all humans.
Sandra.
I march for peace and justice.
I march for freedom, justice, and history.
Robin.
My name is Robin, and I march for those that have been silenced.
And we are Focus Hope's Anti-Racism Task Force.
Hello, I'm Jay Craig. It's unfortunate that we cannot be together for this year's March of Hope. Recent acts of violence have once again stirred the feelings of hopelessness and anger for those who abhor the racial discrimination that exists in the United States today. I am personally appalled by the lack of empathy and understanding for those who face challenges and prejudice in their struggle to achieve a reasonable level of dignity and stability in their daily lives. We must do better to understand the frustrations, hopes, and needs of each other. There is no other path forward to long-term stability and prosperity for our communities and our country. We must take concrete actions to move us toward our desired goals. I am personally committed to that action. I have been active in Focus Hope for a number of years and have led the development of the truck driver training program that has created life-changing opportunities for those who felt they had none. That is just one of the many programs that Focus Hope offers to the citizens of Detroit. We are fortunate to have this resource. Its mission is as relevant today as it was in 1968. We must be the change.
Hello, and welcome to the Weekend of Hope. My name is Christopher Dargan. For me, Focus Hope and the Weekend of Hope hold an incredibly special place for me. As a graduate of the Focus Hope Machinist Training Institute, I have benefited firsthand from the profound and transformative work started by Father Cunningham and Eleanor over 50 years ago. As a native Detroiter and Focus Hope graduate, I knew there was no better place for me to contribute my skills and resources to help fight racial inequality and poverty. I am honored to work with Focus Hope and to serve as a member of the Future Leaders of Hope. This weekend, I marched to continue the fight for racial equality and the eradication of poverty. Thank you.
Hey family, it's Armand Rashad, owner of Jabs Gym Eastern Market. Thank you for joining me for Focus Hope's 46th annual Eleanor's March for Hope, presented by WVIV. Please join me as we get warmed up to virtually March for Hope. Here we go, guys. We got 4 different movements, 30 counts apiece, all right? You don't need a timer. You can feel free to count them on your own, guys. Movement number 1, count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just lifting that knee up, team. All right, keeping the core engaged. All right, We're moving, keeping those hands up as we put pressure on the core, just like so. I might have lost my count a little bit, so we're gonna start at 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30, guys. Very nice. Here we go. Movement 2, we're reaching from left to right. Here we go, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reach, guys. Engage that core, twist those hips, get that whole body warmed up, guys. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Keep that heart rate going, guys. We're moving on to movement 3, and it looks like this. Reach down to the left, reach down to the right, up to the left, up to the right. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30, guys. All right, almost there. That body's almost warm, guys. Here we go. One more movement. What I want you to do, guys, is join me in a nice jog in place, guys. Here we go. 30-second count. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Feel free to modify it, guys. Feel free to modify it if you need to. All right, feel free to modify if you need to. We're almost done, guys. Last couple seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Excellent work, guys. That concludes the warm-up. Again, I'm Alumni from Jab Gym, Eastern Market. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you grab your friends and family in support of Focus Hope's March for Hope, guys. I'll see you soon. Peace and love.
In 1968, one of Focus Hope's first projects was to support a mixed-race family who were terrorized in their home in Warren, Michigan. In the early 70s, Focus Hope's Detroit Hope happenings on the Kern Block and the riverfront brought blacks and whites together in a fun atmosphere predating the ethnic festivals. The first Focus Hope walk was called Brotherhood 76 and symbolically brought blacks and whites together from city and suburb, north, south, east, and west, converging at the State Fairgrounds in Detroit in a format reminiscent of Dr. King's marches in the 60s. Focus Hope went on to develop a food program for mothers and infants and seniors that became a national model, education and training programs from remedial math and reading to engineering degrees, an anti-discrimination lawsuit resulting in affirmative action and housing and transportation assistance. But it was never just about food programs or training or education or helping the poor. We marched then, and we march now, for civil and human rights, for our brothers and sisters who have been denied, as it says in our mission statement, the dignity and beauty of every person that only some of us are able to take for granted. A few weeks ago, a black family in Warren, Michigan, was racially terrorized while watching TV in their living room. We march today because the two hands of the Focus Hope logo are still barely touching, and we have a long road ahead.
My
name is Nancy Beers. My parents, Joanne and Russ, came to know Father Cunningham in the 1960s when he first started Focus Hope. My father managed the Highland Park Chrysler plant, and he and Father Cunningham worked together to bring manufacturing jobs to young people in Detroit, most affected by the racial and economic injustices. Father Cunningham, Eleanor, and my parents stayed in touch the rest of their lives, meeting to share their insights into a rapidly changing world, always promoting values of equity and promise, bringing these values out of the shadows into the light. Arthur Schopenhauer said, "Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one can see." Focus Hope embodies that genius, harnessing talents and providing a visible target in a chaotic world. For me, my parents embodied the talent, Father Cunningham, the genius. My mother passed this March, joining Father Cunningham, Eleanor, and my father in that sacred afterlife. There's no better legacy I can think of than to support all of you at Focus Hope during this time. Thank you all for what you do.
Our early learning centers address the needs of children who may otherwise have difficulty accessing high-quality early childhood education. One of the most impactful and successful programs in the Detroit area, Focus Hope's Early Learning Program is partnered with the Federal Early Head Start and Head Start programs, as well as Michigan's Great Start Readiness Program. By providing direct assistance and counseling to mothers and pregnant women, we help promote positive pre- and postnatal activities to increase healthy outcomes for mother and child. And our Fatherhood Initiative supports strong parent-child relationships for children within the Early Learning Program. The youth development arm of Focus Hope reaches out to help kids with after-school and summer experiences as they move through critical stages of their development. Students from 3 to 13 can take advantage of our sports programming, including soccer, t-ball, baseball, flag football, and basketball. The Excel Photography program provides training in photography for youth. Generation of Promise builds a community of young leaders who are dedicated to celebrating diversity and promoting justice. In 2020, everything has gone virtual, and our staff are providing students and families with virtual home visits, which include educational activities as well as wraparound support services, including coordination to partner organizations for emergency relief. We have also been able to provide over $140,000 worth of baby essentials and $75,000 worth of food boxes to families through coordination with our great community partners.
The great gains that formerly incarcerated people make should lead us to ask the question, how much more their contribution to society would increase if we weren't living in a society that criminalizes poverty and color in the first place.
In our work, we found that formerly incarcerated individuals are hardworking, dedicated, and when given a second chance, they excel.
Tell me what you've been up to, man. Share it. Yeah.
I've been up to a lot. So I advocate on behalf of women who've been sexually abused, domestically abused, and human trafficked. Yeah. And I also incorporated my company. So I have the SYB, the company Entertainment, and I just signed my first artist who just did her first video, and her first single is coming out. I have not Stacy Barker, the Quality Care Company LLC, and I have my own home health care company, and I have Stacy Barker Philanthropy, and that's my life coaching or motivational speaking, and I just give back to the community where I can and when I can.
Wow, yeah, that's incredible. That's a lot.
It is, and I just celebrated 11 years of being home on August 25th.
Oh man, just trying to get out and trying to make a difference. I mean, all of us know when you come home, the first thing is not to go back.
Exactly.
Second thing is not to get killed.
Right.
Third, not to use drugs.
Right.
You got that checklist, and then how to manage your fear.
Yeah.
And that fear has been an inspiration. Working from Head Start to getting to community college, to getting undergrad, to getting my master's degree from the University of Michigan in 2019, to traveling to Ghana for the first time, writing and publishing books, speaking across the country.
You got Nicholas, who's home, Blair, all these people doing all these wonderful things across the city. And you gotta wonder, like, if there's so much talent, how much was taken away from the community with so many people serving a long time, and for largely nonviolent offenses. That's obviously that's not the case for all of us, but
Right.
a lot of people just now, drug-related crimes we're talking about, where swaths of the community just got raptured away.
Yeah.
And I just think about that devastation and what could have been, but I'm also optimistic about what can be, because so much is going back into the community with folks like us.
Exactly.
To the principal point of the greatest resource of any society is the people. When you don't invest in the people, you do a disservice to society and ultimately the people. Yeah. And to the point that we're making, despite being thrown away, we came back, great men, great women in terms of character, heart, not because folks wanted it to, because we wanted it. And,
exactly.
and the reality is, those who are here now, if we invest what was invested in us now, then we don't need prison. Then we don't need all these things that's destroying and stifling, particularly, let's call it what it is, Black lives.
Yeah, so CEO is a national organization that provides evidence-based employment services to individuals coming home from incarceration. So we really tailor our services and our support to individuals with justice involvement. This work is important for me specifically because I have a parent who is justice involved. My father was incarcerated for a number of years, and he was one of those individuals who came home and had a lot of great supports around him, and has been able to lead a really full and fulfilling life. And so I think very early on, I realized how critical it is to rally around individuals when they're coming home and ensure that they have what they need to be successful and to not recidivate. So I think, it's important for all of us to exercise our voice in whatever way we can that makes the most sense for us. But I think partly we just start by having these conversations with members of our community, and probably most importantly with folks who are maybe not yet ready to dig into this conversation, right? We have to bring folks along.
My name is Tristan Taylor, and I'm an organizer with the group Detroit Will Breathe, or otherwise known as DWB. Well, Detroit Will Breathe, or DWB, was an organization formed out of the protests that were taking place in Detroit and around the country around the death of George Floyd. So we created the organization in order to be able to ensure that this really big, integrated, energetic movement that was fighting seriously for justice, that it would continue. Demonstrations, protests, they have power. They are the physical manifestation of people's frustration and anger. They are also a way for the conversation to be dealt with in a really open and intentional way. And I think that people bring themselves and the conversation in a more realistic way, a more concrete way, through showing up and being a part of demonstrations. So for me, equitable justice looks like proper investment into communities of color, making sure that Black and brown communities have the resources that they need to provide real stable and secure living conditions for themselves. And that includes a right to housing, a right to water, a right to quality education, a right to opportunities, not just for good paying jobs, but for stable jobs, and so that we can bring the best out of each person, all of their creativity and talent. Thank you, Focus Hope, for the opportunity of telling my story and the story of this movement and our fight for real justice and equality in the city of Detroit.
Hi, my name is Ebony Ransom. I'm from Detroit. I'm a small business owner, mom of 4, 3 of which have been a part of Focus Hope's early learning program. Okay. Hi, this is David, my son, and my aspirations for him and my other 3 children is for them to be a part of a welcoming, nurturing environment that will ensure their future in education.
Hello, Detroit. My name is Tom Jositis, and I am marching to celebrate diversity. Eleanor's March for Hope has meant a tremendous amount to my family from the very beginning. I personally believe it was my mother's favorite Focus Hope event. The March just embodies everything that Focus Hope is about. To me, if you could take Focus Hope's mission statement and put it into a live, living thing, that would be the March. It brings people together from all different backgrounds, races, colors, religions, and just gets everybody together, celebrates diversity, and just promotes love, community, and kindness to everybody. That's what a big part of what Focus Hope is about. It's very unfortunate that we cannot all march together live in person this year, but hopefully we can next year. Until then, peace and love, Detroit, and keep celebrating diversity.
Now let's check in with some more of the community members who marched virtually.
I'm Ebony, and this is David, and I march for a just education system.
So I'm marching for generational wealth, stability, and also positivity.
Hope is not distant. Here from Cleveland, Ohio, I'm Amy Holloway, juvenile defense attorney, and I march for the incarcerated youth of Cuyahoga County.
Hope is not distant. I'm Julie, coming to you from Los Angeles, California, and I march to end white supremacy.
Hi, I'm Mike Ford from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm the owner of Mike Ford's Personal Training, and I march to the future with strength.
Hi, my name is Javon from San Jose, California, and I march for racial equity.
Food Justice for Seniors is a cornerstone program at Focus Hope. We recognize the difficulties that many seniors have in affording and securing nutritious options and help ensure their access to the groceries they need. The Senior Food Program partners with over 250 local organizations and hundreds of volunteers to prepare, package, and deliver food to seniors in Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, and Washtenaw counties. Over 42,000 seniors living on limited incomes receive monthly food packages to help them supplement their grocery budgets and meet nutritional needs. In 2020, we've been able to make sure that seniors do not go hungry during the crisis by implementing no-contact drive-through pickup, as well as increasing deliveries of food to homebound older adults. With local partners, we are also distributing fresh food and bottled water to community members. Since nearly 4,000 new seniors have signed up to receive food from Focus Hope during the COVID crisis, we know the need continues, and we are honored to be able to support our neighbors in this way.
The early months of COVID-19 highlighted the glaring health disparities in communities of color. A major contributor to chronic health issues is diet.
Working class communities, communities of color, even in this city, are some of the most creative about ensuring great health. Places like Detroit is a leader in urban agriculture, bicycling, and creative playscapes to keep people moving and eating well.
My health is drinking a breakfast smoothie every morning, which is a health drink.
My name is Erin, and health and fitness looks like meal prepping consistently to me.
My health is walking on my treadmill every other day.
I worry about seniors. My wife and I probably had to be about 10 or so years ago, if not longer, saw a need to try and feed people. And so we took upon ourselves through our church, which is Romulus Community Baptist out in Romulus there, to start a program where we would get food, and if someone was in need, we would distribute the food. And so that's kind of a ministry for us. Here at Focus Hope, it's more than just a place for food. It's also a place where we pass out information, where we let seniors know where they can go for different services.
My name is Malik Yakini. I'm Executive Director of the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network, and we're here in the Yakini Family Garden. The Detroit Black Community Food Security Network is a nonprofit organization founded in 2006, and we do several things. The largest, most labor-intensive thing we do is we operate D-Town Farm, which is a 7-acre farm in Detroit's Rouge Park. At D-Town Farm, we grow more than 30 different fruits, vegetables, and herbs each year. In normal times, when we're not in a pandemic, we train farmers. We have lots of volunteers that come out. We do lots of tours. We also demonstrate rainwater retention. With the rainwater retention pond we have, we can collect about 50,000 gallons of rainwater and pump it via a solar pump into storage tanks. We model sustainable energy usage with our solar energy station. We have 10 solar panels on top of a shipping container that we purchased, and we're able to generate about 8 kilowatts of electricity via these solar panels. We also do beekeeping, and in fact, this year we have a tremendous amount of honey that the bees produce that we'll be selling soon. And normally we have an in-person harvest festival in September. This year the Harvest Festival is a virtual festival, and it's been delayed until October. So if people want information on Detroit Black Community Food Security Network, they can go to our website, which is www.dbcfsn.org. Again, that's www.dbcfsn.org. So we know in American society that there are tremendous disparities between people who are defined as Black and people who are defined as white. And one of the ways those disparities manifest is within health, our quality of health. We've seen certainly during the COVID pandemic how these disparities play out, where when communities are competing for resources, then more affluent white communities have greater access to those resources, and communities that are not as affluent and that are Black and brown often were struggling to get the resources they need. And sometimes even decisions were made about who was worthy to be treated, who did not get treated, who lives and who dies, in part based on this concept that we call race. And so one of the ways that, again, these disparities manifest is in our health. And one of the main factors that determines whether or not we have vibrant, robust health or not is what we put into our bodies, our diet. And so we have a tremendous problem in not only Detroit, but other African American communities with getting access to high quality, affordable, fresh fruits and vegetables, which are the main building blocks for building healthy bodies. And so part of what our organization is trying to do is really, again, raise the consciousness of our community about the access that we have in our community to these high quality foods so that we can improve our health outcomes.
My name is Francine Lawton Morris, and I've been with the program for about 17 years. They have seen it with my grocery bill. I'm on a fixed income, so is my husband. Okay, let's say this. I get, between me and my husband, we get $2,200 a month. 22 something. My rent's $1,000 a month. I have a car note and insurance. And my medicine is about $500 a month. So I'm already robbing Peter to pay Paul, and Peter left town and Paul died. So this helps me out a lot.
I'm volunteering today because I feel like the elderly are the biggest victims in this pandemic. And they are the most needed in this time, these uncertain times.
Hi, I'm volunteering today because with this pandemic, unfortunately, I'm not working at the moment. So trying to use my free time to give back to the community, especially during a time of crisis, and hopefully just kind of band together and help each other out.
Yeah, I'm volunteering today because I'd like to help out people, and I'm a social work major at Eastern Michigan University, and I need to get some hours in. So there you go.
Thank you. So thank you for coming from Lear, from the Center for Children, and from everywhere just to volunteer and help in our community during the pandemic to secure the strength of our future. Thanks, everybody. Woo!
It was 1967. I had been in Detroit for over 3 years. I felt very safe and comfortable, working mostly in a club known as the Living End. I had been told by my social science professor at Wayne State University that there would soon be a race riot in Detroit. But when it actually happened, it was very scary. So when a priest on a motorcycle showed up and started talking to everyone who would listen about what we needed to do to make things right, he got my attention. I even started attending Mass on Sundays at the church where he was the pastor to hear his homilies. He was passionate, articulate, and you could tell he would fight if he had to. When he talked about Martin Luther King, you could see that he held him with a special reverence. It wasn't until years later that I found out he had marched with him at Selma and in 1963 in Detroit. I learned a lot just watching him and his #1 partner in crime, Eleanor. She was totally devoted to the mission. She could and did befriend everyone who would accept her invitation to be part of their quest for peace, harmony, and justice. Bill Cunningham was the visionary. Eleanor was the sergeant-at-arms standing at the door. The first time I marched was the first Focus Hope Walk for Justice. We never called it marching. We said we would walk together. It was the together that we believed in. We would all sing for the gathering crowd, and then everybody would walk down Woodward Avenue and gather again at Hart Plaza. I would love to do that again.
The Workforce Development Program at Focus Hope is designed to prepare students to achieve their career goals, enabling access to work opportunities that provide a sense of increased self-worth and pride, as well as a stable income. Economic mobility is a fundamental goal of the program, allowing people to pursue their financial goals, offering greater security for individuals who wish to own homes, build families, and improve communities. Since 1981, Focus Hope has educated over 14,000 students with an 80% completion and employment rate. And nearly everyone who enters a training program at Focus Hope are hired in the field they studied. We help students advance in reading and math, as well as addressing social skills such as workplace ethics and conflict resolutions to prepare for success in the workplace. We offer scholarship-based training programs in a variety of in-demand fields such as information technology, manufacturing, culinary arts, construction, truck driving, and robotics. Since 2020 began, we have transitioned to virtual training and recruiting, and over 100 students have already graduated from virtual workforce training, using live virtual classrooms, ebooks, and hands-on labs in virtual machines. Workforce specialists are also connecting with current and prospective students virtually to address needs through supportive services or connections to partner organizations.
Communities of color have less access to capital, in part because of discriminatory practices, but also because of limited access to inheritance, which dates back to slavery in connection to denied compensation for expertise and labor. Similarly, women, Black women in particular, as the most educated group in America, are still only paid fractions to the dollar.
What many don't understand is that Black women are the fastest growing group of small business owners and also earn college degrees at a higher rate than any other group. For instance, in economic equity, despite the barriers, we've seen significant improvements for Black women and pay equity. Black women continue to make strides in the workforce in terms of what they make and having comparative salaries to those of white men.
Even with the leadership provided to the economy by women and by people of color, the growth gains there are not fast enough. And this is because of the inequities that they experience in the system.
As a Black-owned establishment, we hold ourselves to a higher standard and our people hold us to a higher standard.
Since we've been open, we have served over thousands of families, the community. We do help with helping hands.
We've worked with World Central Kitchen.
Get back to the community.
I'm Daryl Dibbs Howard. I'm a financial entrepreneur, and my focus is on helping Detroiters build wealth through home ownership. So coming up, I inherited a deficit of knowledge in finance. So in order to earn money out in the professional world, I had to learn how it worked. I didn't get that education in traditional schools or at home. So I really had to surround myself with people who were where I wanted to be in life. And that's where I came across the concept of building homes and helping people leverage the equity in their homes in order to level up in the world. To whoever's watching this, you can do it too. Don't let anybody tell you no. If somebody tells you no, you find somebody else that'll tell you not no.
I'm Anika Goss. I'm the executive director at Detroit Future City. The Think and Do Tank in Detroit, we focus on land use, community and economic development, and research on economic equity for the future, 50-year future of Detroit. I think one of the things that we should be really proud of in Detroit is we are probably 10th in the country for small business and entrepreneurship. However, African American small businesses grow slower than any other form of business in Detroit. And part of that reason is access to capital. So if you can't access the financing for your small business will not grow. The other issue that we have that's a real challenge, and I think that leads to access to capital, is that Detroiters make $20,000 less than their suburban counterparts for the same job. And so that is regardless of career choice. So I'm not talking about a kindergarten teacher and a biotech engineer. I'm talking about 2 teachers, 2 biotech engineers, 2 doctors. You're making more money just because you live in a different area. And that is more problematic. I believe those 2 issues is enough that it will keep capital from flowing back into Detroit to be able to thrive the way we need to when we think about small business development. How can we grow our small businesses if Detroiters are making significantly less? Or if you can't qualify for the same kinds of capital as people in other parts of the region. If we had more private sector jobs at a diversity of levels, so follow me here. If we had more different kinds of jobs that aren't just like pathway jobs, entry-level jobs for African Americans, what we need to have is more, our ceiling, we talk about the glass ceiling, that same glass ceiling exists for African Americans. So we need to be able to have more jobs here available so we're not all competing for the same limited number of jobs. We need to be really intentional about how we grow the existing Black businesses that are here. And so that intentionality isn't always, I'm about to start a business, right? We also need to think about what do we need to do to grow and expand and build the capacity of the existing businesses that are here to position them better for capital. What does that look like, right? And to make sure that they are employing other Detroiters, that they're able to stay here in Detroit and not move to the suburbs where they're feeling like the fees are lower, the costs are lower, it's easier to do business. So is the better business environment we can make for Black businesses here, and the more we can ready them for capital, in addition to holding financial institutions accountable for creating these pathways and opportunities for Black businesses to access capital. Because that's the toughest part. Can you get the approval for the business loan?
I've never been so focused in the amount of compassion that the teachers showed and everybody else. It was like the dopest thing ever. I'm sorry, I'm all getting teary-eyed.
It's all right.
I made a lot of good connections. And I learned a lot, and that was something that I never thought that I would really, take the time to put into and get it taken care of. So long ago, after a few months of hard work and dedication, I did go ahead and I got my CompTIA A+ certification for Focus Hope.
That's what's up.
I got a job 2 days after graduation. I'm in the midst of trying to purchase a home right now. And I didn't think I'd ever be able to purchase a home because I'm really tired of renting.
That's real. Yeah, no.
But I learned a lot from Focus Hope, and Focus Hope is for everybody who wants to do something with themselves. It is, I do not look at them as a handout. If anything, I look at them as a helping hand.
That's awesome.
That is the dopest thing that the city can have.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Hi, I'm Jerry Lemoneau. In September of 1968, I walked into Sacred Heart Seminary and met lifelong friends. Timing is everything. It was 6 months into the existence of Focus Hope, and I was all in from the moment I met, besides my classmates, I met Father Cunningham and Eleanor Jositis. The classmates were also volunteers for Focus Hope, the earliest volunteers. So I was inspired by my classmates and especially by Father Cunningham and Eleanor Jositis. They showed me a mission. I was joining a legion of people who wanted to make a difference. And Focus Hope was then and is now a magnet for such people. If you could run errands, unload boxcars of food, learn how to run a printing press, or type, or put a bumper sticker on a car, or draw a little, you were embraced. Young people like me were given responsibility beyond reason, because Bill and Eleanor saw something. Father Cunningham and Eleanor discovered that I could draw, and so they put me to work. I laid out and illustrated publications and promotional material, painted signs, and picked out curtains for a food center. I also unloaded boxcars when it was required, and sometimes painted with a roller when the resource center needed it. It was all hands on deck, and all of us wore lots of hats. Bill, Eleanor, and Dario Benucci, our beloved chairman of the board, who also brought us the folk minstrels who stuck around, are still here, came up with the plan for the first walk. Preceding the walk, there were 5 downtown Brotherhood festivals, and the switching of gears amounted to a walk called Brotherhood 76. It took place November 2nd, 1975, anticipating the bicentennial. Folks walked from 4 directions to the state fairgrounds. From the east side, we started at Gratiot and went down 8 Mile all the way to the fairgrounds. From the other direction on 8 Mile, from the west side, it was another 7.6 miles and ended up at the fairgrounds. And from downtown, they came up Woodward, and they came south from Birmingham, all of us from 4 directions meeting at the state fairgrounds. I was part of that east side contingent. I was carrying a sign that I silkscreened along with a lot of others, along with my buddy Carl Beitelman, and people were carrying hand-painted banners, and we arrived together. We united together at the state fairgrounds. It was beautiful. We held hands at the bandshell and sang "We Shall Overcome." All these years later, 45 years later since that first walk, we're still walking the walk. And we're still moving forward step by step, as Dario liked to say. The march continues, and I'm so pleased that the march continues. I guess I always knew it would, because Father Cunningham and Eleanor Jositis and my dear friends taught me hope.
You broke it down, tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find no fighters, but I see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out, and mountains, we're gonna walk it out, and mountains. place and it's quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll bring the world to its feet and mountains, bring it to its feet and
Wait, is it done already? Man, I promise you, it flew by. I guess the saying is true. When you're having fun, things just happen to go by. But guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Local 4, Focuses Hope heart. Thank you for joining us this year for our virtual march. Now, it is great because we all strive to make positive change here in Southeast Michigan and beyond. But none of this would be possible without our sponsors. So thank you so much. Cross your fingers that I'll be back next year. Hopefully we'll be in person. Yeah, let's pray on that. Thank you so much, guys. I love you. Please be safe.